everybody, it's TF Renegade here, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. In today's video, we're taking a look at Transformers Studio Series 86 Soundwave. Now, this was a figure I've been waiting to get my hands on ever since I saw the leaked announcement. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what are they going to improve from the last version? Because this one's pretty good, so I hope they do a little bit more accuracy to the character. And I gotta say, I am very pleased with what I'm seeing. But in the video, we're gonna find out if you should spend $60 on this guy or if you should just stick with the old one. So how about we take a closer look at him? So starting off in the robot mode, I think this is a fantastic version of Soundwave. I think Hasbro and Takara really did a good job on this because he is kind of like a mini masterpiece, you know? I think this is a lot closer to the show and the movie. He's not perfect, of course, but I'm gonna say he is closer to it than the Legacy and Netflix version. And that was not a bad figure at all. So I'm really happy that they did upgrade him in a lot of areas that we needed it. So starting off with the head sculpt, of course, it looks like Soundwave. We've seen this head a million times now, but this is a great version of it. I think the head sculpting is amazing. He's got nice painted eyes right over there. And on the Legacy version, I'm pretty sure it was light piping. So this is a much better look for him having it painted since he is from the cartoon. The light piping's not bad, but it kind of makes it look kind of dead. So I'm really happy they painted it. He's got a nice mouth plate right over there. So I think the head is fantastic. Of course, he's got a shoulder cannon right over here. Nothing too exciting about that. And over here, we got the tape deck on his chest. It looks amazing as always. He's got some nice yellow all throughout and a nice purple Decepticon logo in the middle. Looks good. If you click the button up here, you open up the chest. And this time it opens up to a degree. On the Netflix version and Legacy, it kind of flops all the way open. So I'm really happy they kind of fixed that to be more in line with the real tape deck. And of course, we got a lot of molded detail on the inside, which looks fantastic. And over here on his arm, we could see nothing too crazy going on here, just some good colors. And he's finally got his little stripe over here on the Netflix version. They did not have it because it was a remold from Siege. So this is a brand new mold and it looks amazing. He doesn't have that stupid little thing on the back of his arm anymore. So I'm really happy with that. He's got some nice hands over here and a little hinge so you can open up the hand. Right there, looks pretty good. And when you come over here to his crotch, he's got the nice play and all the little buttons over here, which looks great. I like that. Nothing exciting with the legs, but you come down here and it looks pretty good. Got some nice paint right over there, which looks good. He's got some nice feet over here, nice silver paint on that, so we love that. Yeah, flip him to the other side, and of course, he's got this little backpack, which is always common on Soundwave, so you got that. And we actually have the tape recorder parts for this, and I really don't like it sitting on his butt over here. I wish they kind of hid this a little bit better because it is jarring to have it here and then right there. Then we're back. So I wish there was a little bit better of a way to hide this. I mean, you could kind of like flip it upwards like that, but then you got all these pieces sticking out here. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to like cry about it, but it is there and I wish it was hidden better. So you got that. And we got some molded details on the back of his legs. Of course, we got the power button over here and the volume button right over here, but they do get hidden in his tape recorder mode. And I'll show you that later, but it is kind of weird that they molded it and it doesn't show up later. So yeah, I mean, but really aside from that, that's it for his robot mode. And I think it looks fantastic. So taking a look at the cassettes we get Buzzsaw, Laserbeak, and Ravage. And I'll say this much, the Buzzsaw and Laserbeak, I love these. I mean, these are really good versions of those two characters. I like the colors and the mold in general just looks a lot better than the last one. As you can see, they got their little cannons on their backs over here and some nice Decepticon logos on their wing. And I really do like these, but the one complaint I'll say is that these don't really match the last cassettes we got because they've been kind of basing those off of the Siege ones, and now these ones are a lot bigger compared to those. So we will look at that later, but I do think these are just a little bit too big. But the one thing I do want to say is I don't think they should have included Ravage at all. This is totally unacceptable for Ravage because he keeps getting the short end of the stick, and I'm really hoping that we get a good Ravage. I mean, this just looks kind of stupid because he's got this little piece over here because they want to kind of make it so you can have more guns with the character, but I'd rather just stick these on the hips like he's really supposed to have. This is really useless. And when you flip him to the backside, it just looks like he's got a droopy butt going on. I'm really not too sure what happened here. I really just don't like what they did with Ravage, and I wish they would have just waited to do him separately so he got some justice. But I mean, as it is, it's nice that at least the character is included in the set. So taking a look at the accessories, our guy Soundwave comes with quite a bit. So starting off with his shoulder cannon, as we saw before, it looks pretty nice. Nothing too spectacular about this. It's just a shoulder cannon, but this is a huge upgrade from the last version. Here's the Netflix one, and as you can see, a lot better with the paint. I think the red absolutely brings this to life, and I love that. So it's a much better version of that. And of course, Soundwave comes with his blaster. It looks really nice. We got some nice silver paint over here for this part. And of course, you can stick it on the inside as usual. Now, I don't understand why they won't include a feature to extend this, because his blaster, even in the cartoon, does extend out. So I'm still waiting for them to kind of fix that on this, but we will look at the old version right here from the Netflix one, and as you can see, they actually changed it so it's coming out from the side instead of straight out like this one. So it is a little bit different, but the paint is much better on the new one. So you got that, and of course we have these little pieces from the cassettes over here. Where did I put ravage? Oh, here it is. So you got these little pieces here, and it's kind of similar to how on Perceptor the cassettes had little extras, so you can kind of make it a little blaster for Soundwave if that's something you want to do. Same thing here with Ravage. You can kind of stick these missiles to the side, so you have a little peg, and you can move that tail out of the way, so you can make a little blaster out of that as well. So when it comes to the articulation, our guy Soundwave does not disappoint. So starting off with his head, as you can see, he can look to the left, he can look to the right, and he can look all the way around. He's got no problems there, and I'm really happy. There's a lot of gappage between the cannon and his head, so you won't have any problems with that. He can look up in the air just a little bit, but he cannot look down, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. When it comes to his arm, you can stick that sucker all the way out, no problems there. We love that. And you can swing it all around, no problems on the backside, so that's great. You can actually unhinge it to go this way, and that does play a part in the transformation, but you also have another hinge, so it comes out all the way over here, so that's really nice that they included that. We, of course, have a bicep rotation. If we keep that locked into place, you got that, and an elbow bend. We love it, and of course, we got a wrist rotation, and we definitely love that. So you have that. When it comes to the waist, you can move that sucker all the way around. You got no problems there, which is nice. When it comes to the leg, though, these little flaps do get in the way when you're trying to kick forward, but you can get a good kick out of it nonetheless. You put this flap up in the back. Got no problems there. You can kick backwards all the way, and you can kick out to the side all the way as well, so we love that. And when it comes to the thigh, you can swing that sucker to the side. Looks good. He also has a knee bend. It's a 10 out of 10 on that. Then up next, of course, our guy Soundwave has some ankle tilts, if I can get it right there. So we can make Soundwave stand any way we please. So when it comes to the articulation on our little buddies over here, it's a little complicated. So Buzzsaw and Laserbeak are kind of boring. You can move the wings out to here and such, but I really don't like to test the waters with these wings because you can move them down like so, but I've heard rumors that this will break if you try to angle it upwards. So I don't really like to play around with it. I just keep it like this. So they're really kind of boring. I wish there was a way to kind of angle these back a little bit more, like these pieces over here, but it is what it is. I'm not going to throw a fit about that. It's not the end of the world, but really, I mean, he's only got some articulation on his head over here to kind of move it like so, and his legs just kind of move up for transformation. So that's about it for the birds. When you come over here to Ravage, he's got a lot more going on over here. You can move his legs any way you want to. He's also got some movement on his little legs over here, so that's nice, and even the back legs right over here, you can move those like so. You do have this little piece over here, but the tail does move up and down, so you have that. There's also some hinges on the inside of his body, so you can kind of angle this any way you want to, and I actually do like that. That's a really good inclusion, so you can get some good poses out of the Ravage here, so that's nice. When it comes to the head, there's really nothing going on. It's stuck into place, so that's a bit of a bummer, but not the end of the world. But yeah, that's about it for Ravage. So for comparison, first off, we'll put him with the G1 Soundwave, and as you can see, big difference between the both of them, but I still think they look pretty good. And here he is with the Netflix version of Soundwave, which I think is a really good figure still, but I can't deny I think the new one is much better. Here he is next to Studio Series 86 Blaster, and I'm really happy that these two are the same height now, and I love the color contrast between the both. Both bright colors look really really good next to each other. Here he is with a normal size deluxe being Vortex. And last but not least, here he is with the almighty Studio Series 86 Megatron, and I love how these two look next to each other. I think they look fantastic. Now when it comes to the cassette tapes, as you can see, we got Mr. Ratbat in the middle here, and he's got some toy hacks on him, but you can see the size difference here. Up next are Rumble and Frenzy, and I think the new cassettes are just a little too big compared to these guys. And lastly, here are the Netflix versions of Laserbeak and Ravage, and I definitely think the new Ravage is better than the old one, but I do like the size of the old Laserbeak compared to the new one. So here we have Soundwave in his cassette player mode, and this thing looks fantastic. I'm really in love with what they did with this guy, and it just looks really, really good. I mean, the colors on here are fantastic. You got some nice molded details up here, and they actually made the whole thing sit flush on this one. On the Netflix and Siege version, the play button and such was protruding outward, so they actually got the whole thing to sit flush on this, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Of course, the cassette deck over here looks amazing in the middle, and again, you click the button, and it can come outward. You could stick a cassette tape in there if you want, like Laserbeak, and close that up like so, and I think it looks pretty good. You come over to the side though, I don't know why they modeled the on and off button and the volume button on the back of his legs if they're gonna hide it, right? Like, what was the point of that if the sides over here are just gonna be like this? So I was really confused on that. It's not like a terrible thing or anything, but it was confusing that they molded those details onto the back of his leg, but they are hidden on the inside here. So that was a little weird. And the other thing is, this sticks out quite a bit over here. In the cartoon, I'm pretty sure it doesn't stick out like this. I think it is more flatter design, but it really can't be helped just because it is a toy. But the one thing I can say is I love how they got the batteries to sit on the inside over here. I think that was a really genius engineering move to kind of hide that stuff in there. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. You come to the back side, and again, we got the pieces from the front of the robot mode over here, and I just wish there was a way to hide this. I mean, you can put these up, but really, you can't hide it. So I'm really disappointed that this is sticking out back here, but it's not the end of the world. You come to this side, same story, nothing too fantastic over there. And overall, it's just a nice little Soundwave. I mean, really, you're not even going to be looking back here, so it's not a big deal. Everything in the front is the main focus, and it looks great. And even on the top, it's cleaned up well. They actually colored this piece in this time on Siege and Netflix. It is gray, so I'm really happy that they fixed that. And we got some little hinged pieces over here that kind of cover up everything as well. So, I mean, overall, I'm really happy with this Soundwave. I think he looks fantastic. So here's the part where they just can never get this right with these cassette tapes, and it's the cassette tape. They really do struggle trying to make these little robots turn into cassettes nowadays, and I can't really blame them because the size is much smaller than the old 80s ones, but again, it's just really weird how these turn out. So with Laserbeak and Buzzsaw, I mean, these do look similar to cassette tapes. They have the little spindles in the middle this time, and overall the shape is very cassette-like, and I think these are fine. They don't look amazing, but they do their job. On the backside, it's just the robot stuff kind of folded back here, so nothing too exciting with these two. I do wish they were done better, but as they are, not terrible. Now it's Ravage. That once again, it's like if you didn't have the budget, why include it? Because this looks stupid. This doesn't look like a cassette tape at all. Yeah, you got the little spindles in the middle, whippy. I mean, that's it. The rest of this looks stupid. It just looks like his robot mode all over this. This is just not good. I just, again, wish they kind of waited to do maybe a Studio Series 86 version of Ravage and include it with a different figure with a more budget, but, you know, it is what it is. This is what we got. So it can't be helped. I mean, if they're just going to keep doing this to Ravage, this is just what we're going to have to get used to. So, yeah. So for vehicle comparison, here he is next to the original Soundwave from G1. As you can see, the original one is much taller, and it has more detail on it, like it's supposed to be a real cassette player. And here he is next to the Netflix version of Soundwave, and as you can see, very different when it comes to the overall look, but they are very similar in some ways. They are the same size. Definitely different colors. There's more gray and silver on the old version than the new one. But truthfully, I like both of them. I think both of them are doing two different things, and they're both fantastic at what they're trying to do. And here he is next to Studio Series 86 Blaster. Again, these two look fantastic next to each other. I really love how the colors clash with each other, and it's just a really good matchup. And here he is next to Vortex. Nothing too spectacular here, but you can see he's much bigger. And last but not least, here he is next to Studio Series 86 Megatron, and they look pretty okay next to each other. You're not really going to have them next to each other a lot, so it is what it is. So here are all the cassettes put together, and as you can see, the new ones definitely stand out because they are very ugly. I would say that Rumble and Frenzy are the best, and the Rat Bat only looks good because I put some toy hacks on it. He was pretty boring as well. But really, I mean, the Laserbeak and Buzzsaw do look like cassette tapes, kind of, but the Ravage is just kind of bad. There's no excuse for it, really. And here are Ravage and Laserbeak next to their old versions, and as you can see, the Laserbeak is a huge improvement. He actually looks like a cassette tape this time, and the Ravage is actually a downgrade. Now, yeah, the old one didn't have the spindles in the right spot, but it did at least have decals on it to kind of represent a cassette tape. So really quickly, this is how Soundwave looks with all his cassettes. Buzzsaw, Laserbeak, Ravage, Rumble, Frenzy, Rat Bat with his toy hacks on him, which is my favorite, of course, the Netflix Ravage, and finally the Netflix Laserbeak. And for those of you wondering, yes, you can stick the new cassettes in the old Soundwave, but it is a bit of a tight fit just because these were not made for that Soundwave, but it is possible. So what are my final thoughts on Transformer Studio Series 86 Soundwave, guys? This is a huge win. This is honestly a really good figure. He's almost like a mini masterpiece in a way, and I don't regurgitate at the price point. A lot of these newer guys, I'm like $60, really $40, but really $60 does seem like this figure's price point. Now, I'm not saying I want that to be the price point. I do want the leader class price to go down because all the other ones do not even compare to this guy's quality, but Soundwave is a good figure. He's got great articulation, good accessories. The cassette tapes are pretty okay. I think Ravage is the only bad one, really, but honestly, it's a good figure. Now, if you don't want to upgrade to this guy and you want to keep the Netflix and Legacy one, that's totally okay because that is still a great figure. I mean, this is only for people who want a more cartoon accurate Soundwave, which he does a really good job at. But I do think this mold is going to get used again as a comic Soundwave, so if you don't want this version, there might be another version coming of this mold soon too, so I would look out for that. But really, that's going to be it for this guy. So, for the collector's rating, I'm going for a 9.5 on this guy. I think he's a great toy, and collectors are definitely going to want this guy in their collection because he is a good figure. And for the parents' rating, I'm going to go ahead and go with a 9.5 as well because I think kids are going to love Soundwave. He's a lovable character. He's got all 3 cassette tapes with him, so they're going to have fun with that. The one thing I would say is maybe they'll lose the pieces that go on the cassette tapes, but it really depends on the kid, so as a parent, it's up to you whether you think they're going to lose it. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you guys like the content, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. It always means a lot to me when you do, and leave your comments down below. That's the most important part of these videos, is what you guys think. Do you guys like the new Soundwave? Do you hate him? Or do you just kind of feel meh about him? So go ahead and leave your comments down below, and I will see you guys next time.